Ignacio. I just wanted to say hello again, and let me put this over here. You know, I was sitting there remembering in the scriptures where Jesus talked about, freedom. He whom the Son sets free is free indeed. Jesus said that. And if you think about it, that one statement alone, you have many passages of Scripture that you can find out throughout all the Bible, in the Old Testament and the New Testament. And when you hear Jesus say, "He whom the Son sets free is free indeed," then that should mean what he says. I mean, you're free. And that we would get to know him, and we would get to know who the Father is if he calls us. If the Spirit calls us, we would get to know him, and he would reveal the Father to us through him. And he said to Thomas, he says, because Thomas and some of these others, they kept hearing about, it was Philip, excuse me, pardon me, I'm sorry. Philip, got to hear him talking about the Father all the time, so, he was quite satisfied with Jesus, but he says, since you've been talking to us all this time, he says, show us the Father, and hey, it'll be all right. Says, let's just show us. And Jesus said, he says, Philip, I've been with you all this time, and you don't know me? He who has seen me has seen the Father. Oh, that is a wonderful, wonderful promise and absolute statement that you can ever get. You can't get anywhere past there. And Jesus even said that he was the Messiah. The guy that was born blind. See, a lot of people don't realize something here. When the blind man that Jesus healed, the guy that was born blind, and he was kicked out from the synagogue, the Sanhedrin, that little false bunch, their little clique kicked him out, and Jesus had came to him, and Jesus asked him, if he believes in the Son of Man. And he says, well, Lord, who is he so I can believe? He says, the one who's speaking with you, he says, is he. So, you think, well, the Son of Man, what's that? Well, see, anyone who knew the Scriptures understood it, especially when they've heard it in the synagogues, those who listened enough, the statement in Daniel, the Son of Man. If you will read Daniel, you will find it a lot in there. And often throughout the Bible, but usually in the Old Testament, that is, the Son of Man was a reference to the Messiah. And even the lady that met him at the well, Jesus told her that he was the Messiah. See, a lot of people who don't go to church or, don't know the Bible, and they pick it up and they read it, and and they says, well, he has never confessed to such a thing. It's because they don't read the Bible. They read it, but they don't Read it. You got to know what you're reading. But anyway, a person can have deliverance from the enemy. It is promised. Jesus says that whom the Son sets free is free indeed. So you can't get any more simpler than that. And every one of us all have, there's a lot of brothers and sisters that's on YouTube that's legit and has been free and freed from the world. And then there's a lot on here that has not. Okay? But see, you can't go around trying to decipher who is legit and who isn't. You go crazy. Especially if you're in a spot in your life where there is no more peace inside of you. It's just the way it is. You go nuts and you're trying to figure this and everything out, right? See, I and the brother or sisters are out there, they can't save you. I can't. No one else can. See, each one has to make their own choices in life. Now, you can always sit there and lie to you that I'm okay and all this. I don't want none of that hoobaloo and all that. You can say what you want. Been there. And the thing is, you can always do that, but you're always lying to yourself, and you'll always fight tooth and nail and say, no, I'm not lying, I'm just fine. I've seen that, been there too many times. Oh yeah, you're wrong there. No. You're not proving nothing by lying to yourself, because when you lay down on your bed at night, you know that you've been lying to yourself, because look at the troubles and the pressures you got. The enemy has you bound. Let's face it. I mean, you're bound by different things. It's depression. You're bound by hatred. You might be bound by drugs, drinking, smoking, endless things. You might be bound by Satanism, Wiccan, and all this kind of stuff. There's balanced things that you could be bound to, and but there's only one who can set you free. And by the way, if you sold yourself to Satan, I got news for you. You didn't really sell yourself to him. That's a lie too that the enemy has told you, if you believe that. Because see, Jesus paid a price for you. And I know that you don't realize it, but he bought you with blood. His blood. And by it, you are set free if you can accept it. All you got to do is go to him with your full heart and soul and believe in Jesus Christ. You don't need anybody to tell you how to pray. Just talk to him like you do your bestest friend in the whole world and tell him how sorry you are. And mean it, not repeat words and stuff. That don't count for nothing. But you do that, and then you can start feeling a big difference when you pour out your whole heart, not part of you, all of it, and lay it all there and give it to him, and he'll take it away from you, and he'll set you free. Then go get baptized. Get baptized and be around church, true believers. And I'm not talking necessarily a building church. I'm talking about with believers in Christ that really believe this. Okay? So that's my suggestion, and that is the truth. And I hope that you find Christ. And I hope that you will let me know if you have found deliverance. It's always encouraging to hear that, and it makes me want to rejoice with you. So until then, aho, walk in his light. Shalom, peace, my friends.